Hello, authors and illustrators. It is Miss Heath here for your Writer's Workshop lesson. Wow, I was just blown away by your writing. Give yourselves an oh yeah. Are you ready? Oh yeah! Great job. I want to talk a little bit about Habit 8, Find Your Voice. Something awesome about this is that we're working on it right now. This week is all about Habit 8, Find Your Voice. And it says, I have found something that I am good at and really like doing. I am proud, but I do not boast. Instead, this is what we've been working on. I use my expertise, that means all that I know about a topic, to help and inspire others. So, boys and girls, you didn't even know it, but last week you started working on Habit 8. You were starting to find your voice. And I have a list here from Miss Rutt, Mrs. Buxton, Miss Luxa, and a list that I made of all the topics you've been writing about. Are you ready to hear? I saw a book about, it said all about flowers. And I read a couple books that said all about soccer. What a fun idea. There were books that were all about feathers or four-leaf clovers. There were books about music, all about music. What a fun idea. There were books about pets, like All About My Dog or All About My Bunny. Some of you wrote all about Minecraft or other video games like all about Nintendo Switch, and you told me about different games you can play. There was an all about Mario that talked about the different characters. What a fun one. There were people who wrote about building Legos and talked about all of their Lego creations. There was one book that said all about karate. Way to use what you know to write. Some of you wrote about your toys at home. So maybe it was all about Frozen or all about my dolls. And some of you wrote about playing outside. All about playing outside. What great ideas you have. And you're definitely working on finding your voice. So today, I'm not going to share any of my writing. Today, we're just going to talk about you as writers, and we're going to think about where you're at in the writing process. If we were really at school, I would be meeting with each one of you, and we would sit down and talk about what you're writing and how we can fix it up and make it even better. But you're doing that all on your own. So I want you to look at your writing and think, how much of this did I write all by myself? You can do it. And if it's too hard to write 3 or 4 sentences on a page, we're going to talk about what you can do instead. Are you ready? Okay, we're going all the way back to the beginning of the year, to the show and tell books. How to write a show and tell book. This was an anchor chart we did when we first started kindergarten. And now that you know how to do this so well, we're going to look at this and figure out how we can use these pointers and use them in our own writing with our All About books. Let's get started. Some of you are on Think of an Idea. Let's take a closer look at that. It says person, place, or thing. So some examples of that would be, maybe you think of a person or people that you know about that you could write about. Do you remember when I shared a book about my family? I think Miss Rutt and Mrs. Buxton did those books too. So you could write a whole book about your family. I know that every one of our classes wrote books about their friends, about our whole class. So you could write a book about your friends, and each friend could have their own page. Or maybe you want to write about a place. Think about a place you really love or a place that you know a lot about. Maybe it's a park or a playground. Maybe it's your own home. Or maybe you want to write a whole book about school. That would be fun. Now, the third one is a thing. Many of you have been doing that. You've been writing about soccer or music or flowers. So you've been doing great coming up with ideas. But if you're stuck or if you're starting a new book over, think person, place, or thing. Those will be some great ideas to get you started. Once you have your idea, we are going to tell all the parts. So before you even write, you want to tell all the parts. So if you're writing about your family, maybe you go through and on each page you tell what it's going to be about before you even draw the pictures. You want to have a plan. Once you've planned it out, get ready. This is a favorite part for many of you. This is the part where you draw and write the parts. Think about drawing each part and then adding the labels before you forget. We practiced that when we were writing like a scientist, remember? So draw and write the parts. This is also where you could write a sentence on the bottom. Once you're done with that, many of you have already done these stages. You can start all over with a new topic, or you can go to the green one that says add more. See it? You can go back and add more, just like we did with writing like a scientist. We went back and instead of just writing twig, we would write brown twig. And that's going to be the same as this one right here that says write more. Bring pages to life. So instead of just writing table, if you're writing a book about your house maybe, you could write smooth brown table. Or I love this one. They have a picture of the chair, and instead of just writing chair, they wrote the squeaky chair. What a great idea. So those are some steps that you can do, okay? If you're starting a new book or if you're working on a book that you already wrote, think about those steps. Now, there are 2 more steps that some of you are ready for. If you're not ready for these, that's okay. You can stop right here and get to work. But if you've already done all of those things, think about writing more sentences here. So if you have 1 sentence on each page, I challenge you to write 2 sentences on each page. If you don't have any sentences on any pages that you wrote by yourself, I challenge you to try just 1 sentence. So just think about what you might be ready to do. The very end is perfect because it says, write more. Write an ending. Wow, I have been able to read some great endings from you. Some of you at the end of your soccer books scored a goal and said, yay, I love soccer. Some of you at the end of the flowers drew a picture of all the flowers in a beautiful bouquet and you said, flowers are beautiful. That's a great ending. Think about how you are going to end your books. And don't be afraid to just write 1 book, because I heard some kindergartners, they're not writing just 1 page or even just 1 book a day. Some kindergartners have been so excited. Oh my gosh, they've been writing more than 1 book a day. I'm telling you what, these should be fun. Think about your favorite things and write about them. It should be all about drawing pictures and adding colors and adding labels. So make it fun, boys and girls. I can't wait for you to find your voice. I can't wait to celebrate the genius in all of us. And boys and girls, you just know so much. You've just got to teach me now. So get writing, authors, get drawing, illustrators, add those labels, add the colors, and make sure you send them on Class Dojo so that Mrs. Buxton can see, and Miss Ruck can see, and I can see what you're writing about. Thanks for teaching us about all the things you know. See you next time, writers!